OpenAI, the company who owns ChatGPT, could be launching their own search engine to rival Google in the very near future. There have been some very interesting revelations made recently as to why OpenAI will choose to launch a search engine to rival Google. Now, first we're going to take a look at some very interesting log files which will give us a bit of a clue as to the fact that they're going to launch a search engine. We will also examine the words from Sam Altman, who is the CEO of OpenAI, because he said some things very clearly that hinted in the direction of a search engine launching. And finally, I'm going to reveal to you the potential date for the search engine launching, and it is very, very soon. Okay, so let's examine the first piece of evidence, which is the log files of the SSL certificate for OpenAI. So an SSL certificate allows you to secure your website domain, and this certificate, when it's issued, has a log. And it's important it has a log because it needs an audit trail to prove that the domain is secure and that the people securing it are legitimate and the domain is not tampered with. Within these logs, you're going to find a list of all domains that have been protected by the certificate, and OpenAI recently updated this, and you can see in that list of domains there is a new addition, and that new addition is search.chatgpt.com, a very clear subdomain that proves that search could well be a factor with ChatGPT in future. This domain is currently listed in their SSL certificate logs, meaning at some point they are probably going to use it for search. Kind of a no-brainer, right? This news came to light thanks to prolific AI tweeter Ashutosh Shrivastava. I'm not saying that name again in this video. He tweeted the content of these logs and highlighted it all for Twitter to see. One clear piece of evidence of the intent of OpenAI launching a search engine. But let's look at the actual words of Sam Altman, who is CEO of OpenAI, because he basically said on the Lex Fridman podcast, it's going to happen.
Google, with the help of search, has been dominating the past 20 years. I think it's fair to say, in terms of the access, the world's access to information, how we interact and so on. And one of the nerve-wracking things for Google, but for the entirety of people in the space, is thinking about how are people going to access information.
Yeah.
Like you said, people show up to GPT as a starting point. So is OpenAI going to really take on this thing that Google started 20 years ago, which is how do we
I find that boring. I mean, if the question is if we can build a better search engine than Google or whatever, then sure, we should go, people should use a better product. But I think that would so understate what this can be. Google shows you 10 blue links, 13 ads and then 10 blue links. And that's one way to find information. But the thing that's exciting to me is not that we can go build a better copy of Google search, but that maybe there's just some much better way to help people find and act and synthesize information. I think ChatGPT is that for some use cases, and hopefully we'll make it be like that for a lot more use cases.
What was interesting about that conversation was the fact that he openly called out Google. He talked about it rivaling Google as a search engine, and they talked about how people discover content online. Now, previously, I've spoken about how Google are having issues with their search engine in terms of giving reliable results to users. People are turning away, going to things like TikTok or Reddit, and basically the engineers have been kicked aside for the suits who want to make more money through advertising, meaning Google's search engine's engagement and quality is declining. This makes it a perfect time for Sam Altman to start a ChatGPT search engine to offer an alternative to Google while they are on the back foot, while it's clear that internally they are having struggles with the quality of their search results. So the final question is, when is this search engine coming? We've got some evidence here that it's going to happen, but when is it going to happen? Well, Analytics India magazine had a rumor that they published based on some testimony from somebody working internally at OpenAI. He mentioned that they are looking to launch an event on the 9th or the 10th of May of 2024. This event is said to kick off at around 10 a.m. in the morning. Now, if they're going to announce something with ChatGPT, it's not going to be a new version. I think that kind of announcement is so big that people will probably have an inkling as to a new version being released. They have done before when they've planned announcements for something like this before, for a new version of GPT. then people basically know it's going to happen. But this is a bit different. No one said anything. No one's really guessing or speculating apart from this one rumor in this one publication. So potentially this could be a smaller announcement in the grand scheme of things, because version changes of ChatGPT are much bigger news than the potential of a search engine in terms of an announcement when there's nothing really to see in terms of what this search engine will actually go and do. The source for this rumor goes by the name of Jimmy Apples, who's a known kind of leaker within OpenAI who provides information as to what's going on inside. Is he credible? Probably. There's some things he's mentioned that have actually happened, and there are some instances where it looks like he could be credible. But again, this is all rumor and speculation, but interesting nonetheless. This is what Jimmy Apples had to say on the matter when speaking to Analytics India magazine. They were advertising for in-house event staff and events marketing back in January. They just hired an events manager last month. So it looks like in the very near future there will be a ChatGPT search engine built to rival Google as a way of people discovering information. Whether or not the announcement is going to take place on the 9th or the 10th of May is yet to be seen. It's based on rumor and speculation, but interesting nonetheless. As I said, Sam Altman said this himself on the Lex Fridman podcast, so we are going to see a ChatGPT based search engine coming very soon. But what do you think? Can you ever see a day where Google loses its search engine market share dominance in the Western world? Personally, I can't see it. I think Google will do anything in its power to stop that from happening, including some stuff that's potentially not quite legal, and they'll have to go to court for it time and time again to defend their monopoly. But let me know what you think in the comments. Are you looking forward to a ChatGPT based search engine? Do you think it will be better than Google? I reply to all comments on all of my new videos. Like this video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe and check out the other content on the channel, and I'll see you guys on the next one.